Marc Anthony almost never comments on other people's family drama, so when he suddenly called the Beckham situation extremely unfortunate, fans knew something bigger was hiding underneath. Even more chilling, he hinted that the version of events everyone believes is hardly the truth. And when someone this close to the Beckhams chooses his words that carefully, it raises one uncomfortable question. What are we not being told? Marc Anthony isn't just another celebrity weighing in from the sidelines. His connection to the Beckhams runs deep, decades deep. He's known David and Victoria since before their kids were even born. He's watched that family grow, fracture, and evolve behind closed doors. And he's not just a friend, he's godfather to Cruz Beckham. That kind of relationship comes with loyalty, history, and unspoken rules, which is exactly why his reaction matters so much. When someone this close refuses to spill details but still says the public narrative is hardly the truth, it suggests there's a version of this story that only insiders truly understand. Brooklyn Beckham didn't ease into this, he detonated it. In a series of emotional Instagram stories, he finally broke his silence and turned years of quiet tension into a public reckoning. He claimed he had been controlled by his parents for most of his life, describing overwhelming anxiety that followed him for years. According to Brooklyn, that anxiety only disappeared once he stepped away from his family. For the first time, he said he felt peace, he felt free, and he made one thing crystal clear. The rumors that his wife Nicola controls him are, in his words, completely backwards. He framed his decision not as rebellion, but survival. And that confession changed how fans saw the Beckham family forever. But the moment that truly blew this feud wide open didn't happen online. It happened at Brooklyn and Nicola's wedding. A night meant to celebrate love quietly turned into the most controversial memory of them all. According to Brooklyn, the tension peaked when Marc Anthony took the stage to serenade the newlyweds with a romantic love song. Brooklyn says he was called up, expecting to share that moment with Nicola. Instead, he claims his mother, Victoria Beckham, stepped in and took his place. What followed, Brooklyn described as deeply uncomfortable, an intimate dance in front of a stunned room. He said he felt humiliated, exposed, and completely powerless. That single moment, he implied, wasn't just awkward. It symbolized years of control he was finally done accepting. And that's where the story gets messy, because not everyone in that room remembers it the same way. One source later claimed the moment was so shocking it silenced the entire crowd, saying you could hear a pin drop as Victoria and Brooklyn slow danced, and that Nicola allegedly ran from the room in tears. The incident was described as inappropriate, emotional, and impossible to ignore. But another guest painted a completely different picture. According to them, the night shifted into a more casual vibe later on. Marc Anthony performed, people danced freely, and nothing about the moment stood out as dramatic. Same wedding, same song, two wildly different versions of reality, and somewhere between those accounts, the truth became harder to pin down than ever. That's why Marc Anthony's response landed so heavily. He didn't deny anything. He didn't confirm anything either. Instead, he chose his words with almost surgical precision. He called the Beckhams a wonderful, wonderful family, emphasizing how long he's known them and how close he remains. Then he drew a line. He said he had nothing to say about what actually happened, but added that the way it's playing out publicly is extremely unfortunate, and more importantly, hardly the truth. That single phrase changed the tone of the entire conversation. It sounded less like damage control and more like a quiet warning that the real story is far more complicated than the headlines suggest. What makes this feud hit differently is that it doesn't feel manufactured. There's no flashy rollout, no clout chase, just raw emotion spilling into public view. This isn't about money or fame. It's about control, boundaries, and what happens when a child raised inside a global brand finally pushes back. Brooklyn isn't just distancing himself from his parents. He's rejecting a life built on image, press, and constant performance. And that cuts deeper than any tabloid headline. Fans online are now split, some defending David and Victoria, others rallying behind Brooklyn and Nicola. But at its core, this feud feels painfully human, a family struggling to redefine love, loyalty, and power under a microscope that never turns off. And now, the silence is deafening. David and Victoria Beckham haven't publicly responded. No statements, no explanations, just distance. Meanwhile, Marc Anthony has shifted focus to his Vegas residency. Pro